now let us understand what is a bar graph in details. Let us know about its features first. A bar graph consists of few horizontal line and vertical line. All the horizontal lines will be called as x-axis, whereas the vertical lines are the y-axis. The horizontal axis is the x-axis, and the point at which these horizontal and vertical axes meet will be called as the origin, and it will be represented by the letter O. Now, if you will try to zoom out each and every square grid that is formed by these horizontal and vertical lines in a graph, we find that it will look like this, because these bar graphs are always made on or drawn on graph papers. This is the example of a graph paper. I hope you have already gone through this. You have seen this type of graphs, and whatever the graphs you will draw, bar graph, whenever you draw any bar graph, you should always try to draw on a graph paper. Now, if you will zoom out each square grid, you find the length of each square grid will be 1 centimeter. Okay, the length of each square grid will be 1 centimeter, and this each square grid will be divided into 100 small square grids of length 1 millimeter each. Okay, now, so if you will see each centimeter on this particular graph will be divided into 10 equal divisions. So, though we have marked here 0 to 5, there are total 10 divisions here, and here every 2 division will be considered as 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and this will be the 5. So, it depends upon you how you are taking the scale on this axis. So, these grids are used to note down the data or reflect the data over here. We generally take the data and try to organize the data, and after organizing the data, we used to tabulate the data on a tabular form. Now, these tabulated data will have two types of information. Like here in this tabulated data, we have the information about the section of class 4 and the number of students in each section. So, we have two different data. So, it is up to your wish which data or information you are taking along x-axis and which information you are taking along y-axis. So, you can take any one of the information along x-axis or y-axis. Now, always the data will be represented in the form of bars in a bar graph. In the form of bars only in the bar graph. Next we have the bars may be horizontal or vertical depending upon the numerical data taken along x-axis or y-axis. If you are taking the numerical data means this is the data which is there in the form of numbers. This will be called as the numerical data. If you are taking this numerical data along y-axis, x-axis, then you will get a horizontal bar graph, and if you take it along y-axis, then you will get a vertical bar graph. How? That I will show you afterwards. But before this, let us know about the bar graph. Each bar graph will have the level and it stands for a number. The longest bar represents the highest value, whereas the shortest bar graph represents the lowest value. So, in any bar graph, whatever the highest or the tallest or the longest bar will be there, that will represent the highest value. So, let us understand by drawing the bar graph of this particular data over here, and one by one let's understand these points. Now, our first value, like we have the numerical value that is the number of students of section A is 35. As we have already chosen to take the numerical value along y-axis and the sections along x-axis, always make sure that distance between each section what you mark on the x-axis should be same. Okay? As well, the width of the bars also should be same. You shouldn't draw a bar very broad and one bar very thin. All the width of the bar should remain same. Now, here along y-axis we have taken which data? We have taken the information of number of students. So, you have to mention here number of students. Apart from this, the most important part is writing the scale. Writing the scale of the graph. Scale can be written with the help of the data or information that you got. Here, your information is that about the number of students in each section, which are like 35, 30, 28 and 25. Now, how will you represent these numbers easily on a graph paper? For this, you try to see the greatest and the least value in the given group. The greatest value is 35, the least is 25. So, how can we represent this? So, all these are the numbers of 5, the greatest and least value is the least value in the given numerical data is in the form of numbers by 5s. So, let us assume scale. What will be the scale? The scale will be that 1 unit will be equal to, assume the scale as 1 unit equal to 5 students. 1 unit equal to 5 students. This means from here to here, the number 1 centimeter or 1 unit on a bar graph from here to here, the number of students that represents is 5. Okay, then from here to here it will be 10 students. It will refer to 10 students. So, now first let us decide the scale. After deciding the scale of the graph, now it is time to plot the graph, or now it is time to draw the bar graphs as per the number of students in each section. Now let us come to section A. You can clearly find that in section A there are 35 students. So now just come back to the bar graph and see at what point you will get 35. What point you will get 35. See, from here to here it is 5, then till here 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, then 35 will come at this point, isn't it? So, here we will get the number 35. So, as section A has 35 students, from just above A, you try to draw a bar. You try to draw a bar like this and shade it. Over. So, this is the bar representing the number of students in section A, whereas in section B we have 30 students. As this is the point where we have the number 30. So, just above B and come horizontally along 30 and try to draw the bar of B here. Over. Similarly, you come for drawing the bar of C section, that is 28. Just have a look. From here to here it is 25 and here to here it is 30. Now, between 25 and 30, between 25 and 30, what numbers we have? 26, 27, 28 and 29. So, we have how many numbers in between? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 showed you already that in between 1 centimeter, we find that in a graph paper it is completely divided into 10 equal divisions where each division is 1 millimeter. So between 25 and 30 we will have total 10 divisions. Between 25 and 30 we will have total 10 divisions. Right, these are the 10 divisions. Now just have a look. If this point is 25 and this point is 30, where you will get the 26? You will get 26 every alternate division. Okay, then 27, then here 28 and here 29, then comes the 30. So every alternate division points the numbers here. So you have to see carefully each and every point or the divisions on the graph and try to mark out the point exactly at which you will get 28. So as it is not drawn on a graph paper, so here I will try to figure out approximately, but when you will draw the bar graph on a graph paper, you have to carefully check out at what point you get the number 28. So the number 28 is little close to 30. So here I am just marking this as the number 28. So just come straight horizontally along 28 and just try to draw the bar here just above the letter C or the section C. Over. So this is the bar graph of section C representing the number of students in section C, that is 28 students. Whereas in section D we have 25 students. Yes, which point represents 25? So this is the line where it marks 28 here. So let us draw the bar graph till here. Over. So this is the graph for section D. Now, what do you find? The levels or the heights of each bar graph is different from each other. So the bar graph can give us so many information, like the bar graph which is the highest one or the longer bar graph give us the information that the number of students in that particular section is more, whereas the shorter bar graph gives us the information that the number of students in that particular section, that is in section D, are the least. If suppose in case you get equal size bar, the height of the bars are same, then what does it mean? It means that the number of students in both the sections or the sections of which the height of the bars are same will be equal. Okay, so other than this, you understood how to choose the scale of the graph. Apart from this, if you are asked what is the total number of student in all the classes, simply the bar graph is given to you and you will be asked various questions or different questions based on this graph, which will be called as the interpretation of the data. So that can be explained or answered by observing this bar graph. So children, I hope you understood how to see the given tabulated data or the tabular form, and using the tabular form how to draw the bar graph you understood. So in the next case I will give you the information about the interpretation of data using a bar graph, where I will show you a horizontal bar graph. Why? Because this is called as the vertical bar graph, and the bar graphs are vertically drawn. This type of bar graph will be called as the vertical bar graph. And always remember, the numerical value in a vertical bar graph will always be taken along y-axis. And if you take the numerical data along x-axis, then you will get a horizontal bar graph. So let us understand about the interpretation of data. with the help of a horizontal bar. Now children, let us understand how to read or the interpretation of a bar graph. So as you see here, I have drawn a horizontal bar graph. All the bars are horizontal one. So you can clearly observe here, in this case the numerical data is taken along x-axis. So always remember, if any question comes to you, that in which case we get the horizontal bar graph, or when we draw a horizontal bar graph, the numerical data will be taken along which axis? Along x-axis or y-axis. So your answer should be the numerical data will be taken along x-axis in the case of a horizontal bar graph, and in the case of a vertical bar graph, the numerical data will be taken along the y-axis. Okay, so now let us understand how to read a bar graph. Here a bar graph is only given to you. There is no other information given to you. But how will you fetch the information or know the information about the data that is represented in the form of bar graph here? First of all, you go for the data or the titles written along the x-axis and y-axis. Like here, number of pastries sold. Here, the number of pastries sold is given along x-axis. How many pastries are sold? And the days are given. The days are given along the y-axis. So, if you will see what is the scale of this particular bar graph. The scale is 1 unit is equal to 10 pastries. Like from first unit, here it is marked as 0 to 10. So till here it tells us, it gives us the information that here the marking from 0 till 10, here the 1 unit on this graph is equivalent to 10 pastries or selling of 10 pastries. Till here it is 20, then 30, 40 and till 70 we have written. Okay, now let us study the graph. How will you study the graph? You will study the graph or read the graph with the help of the height of the graph or how long the graph is. So now you just see, on Monday, the graph which is drawn on Monday, its height is reaching up to what number or what point on the numerical data given along x-axis. It is coming till the number 40. It is coinciding with the number 40 or it is along the number 40. The height of this graph is till the number 40. So this gives us the information that on Monday, how many pastries were sold? 50 pastries were sold. Similarly, the bar graph that is drawn along Tuesday, it comes till the number 60 along x-axis. So here the number of pastries sold in the month of Tuesday is 60, whereas the number of pastries sold in the it's not a month, it's a day, Tuesday. Okay, on Tuesday it is 60, on Wednesday it is 30, whereas on Thursday you have to decide. See, the bar is coming up to an height where it lies between, the height of the bar lies between 40 and 50. Which number comes exactly between 40 and 50? It will be the number 55. So how many are sold? How many pastries are sold on Thursday? On Thursday 55 pastries are sold. So the data or the information about the number of pastries sold with the help of this bar graph we got here. Now what do you mean by interpretation? Suppose you are having so many questions and queries about this particular information that is given to you, or you want to know something about the data that is given in the bar graph. Like the first question which I have framed here is, on which day more number of pastries sold? So just by observing the heights of the bar, immediately you can say that this is the highest bar, as this is the highest bar. On Tuesday, more number of pastries sold. So the answer will be Tuesday, isn't it? The next question we have, on which day pastries are sold least? Least means less. So just see, go through the bars. The least number of pastries sold is sold on which day? See, the height of the bar, in which case the height of the bar or length of the bar is less, that represents the least number of pastries sold. So this is the least number of pastries sold, that is on Wednesday. So you can answer it as Wednesday. See how easy it is to answer the question. Next we have, what is the total number of pastries sold from Monday to Thursday? As we have already written how many pastries are sold on these days, directly by adding them all you can find the total number of pastries sold from Monday to Thursday. So just simply add it, 55, 30, 60 and 14. Total how much? 6, 4, 10. 10 and 5, 3, 8, 18, 185 pastries. So the answer to this will be 185 pastries. Right. Next question is, how many more pastries are sold on Monday than Wednesday? So first of all, you go to find out how many pastries are sold on Monday and Wednesday. See, Monday 40 pastries are sold, whereas Wednesday how many? 30 pastries are sold. So, how many more pastries are sold on Monday? How will you find? Simply finding the difference of these two. This means 40 minus 30 will give you 10. So, on Monday, 10 pastries were sold more than Wednesday. So, children, this is how reading a given bar graph and trying to answer to various questions, which overall will be called as the interpretation of data through any given graph. So after understanding how to draw a bar graph and how to read a bar graph or interpretation of bar graph, now let us go to the exercise sums and try to interpret the given bar graphs and answer to the given questions, and even draw a bar graph that is given to you.